Okay, the article I'm about to read is from Front Office Sports. Go check them out. And the article states that don't count out the NBA for NBA. Don't count out TNT, excuse me, for the NBA rights just yet. All right. Charles Barkley joked Sunday night on TNT. It's so close to losing the NBA rights. He's getting his own LinkedIn account set up. But it's a joke. And those already counting TNT out on a multi-billion dollar deal for the association's future NBA rights. Yes, rivals NBC and Amazon Prime are trying to elbow Turner Sports out of the league. Yes, inside the NBA could be history after next season if the two if those two are not getting close as far as making a deal, likely making Barkley the richest sports TV free agent in history. Yes, TNT partner Warner Brothers Discovery an unbelievable is facing an unbelievable challenge and position of having to pay money for the worst. The NBA rights that have already been specified. If NBC partner Comcast is serious about paying 2.5 billion a year, as reported in the Wall Street Journal, that would double what Turner Sports paid, which is 1.2 billion annually by Warner Brothers Discovery. But sources that are close in knowledge of the talks of the two sides tell me that Warner Brothers Discovery is still very much alive at the negotiating tables trying to secure NBA rights. TNT won't get the League A package. That's likely going to NBC along with uh, along with the rights of the NBA Finals. Warner Brothers Discovery is still in play for the B package, which comes with the conference finals, every other, or a C package, which includes the mid-season tournament, the play-in tournament, the early round playoff series. With the NBA already reaching the framework for a detailed with ESPN and Amazon, according to The Athletic, Warner Brothers Discovery is still the underdog, but is working to put out a last ditch effort, a last second buzzer shot that would secure TNT to save its 40-year relationship with the NBA. The only sure winner is the NBA, which is posed to nearly tripling the value of a long-term TV rights package cycle, which could reach up to 75 to the $75 billion range from its 25 billion. Everybody is sharpening their pencils, said one TV executive with knowledge of the negotiations. We're all just waiting for the white smoke to appear. There is also a looming issue with matching rights between the two outside bidders. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David, can't pronounce his last name, said the company it has the right to match any third party offer of the league of receiving the NBA TV rights. But Warner Brothers Discovery has not matched any offers yet because there are no official offers. One source says that means NBC and Amazon are close, but haven't sealed their fate, and there is no guarantee that the rights will be changed if and when Warner Brothers Discovery does not match these offers. The whole process could um, delay into a back and forth legal battle hinging on clauses and decade old contracts. Both the NBA, Warner Brothers Discovery have been pouring out legal language to determine if the league can reject a potential match. CNBC reported last week, contractually wording is vague, and it's unclear if the NBA has a full decision on walking away from Warner Brothers Discovery if they do not match the bids. If Warner Brothers Discovery decides to match and the NBA move or choose to go to NBC Universal, offering decides may be heading for a lawsuit. Warner Brothers Discovery believes it's fairly well protected by the language in their contract. One of the people that is close to the source. In other words, there could be a lot of lawyers fighting over the NBA final decision on which network streaming service will show their games in early 2030. That may simply prolong this decision for TNT if the NBA truly wants out of their relationship. But for now, TNT is still fighting. Far from the end, Warner Brothers Discovery doesn't need the NBA. That's what David said in Love of the League. The CEO has been spotted rooting for the Knicks during their recent playoff run. We continue to be in constant negotiations with the NBA. Recently, at the conference in California, that is the trump card. TNT is still boasting inside the NBA, which is the greatest sports studio show in TV history, with the future of the show hanging on a thread. The new frontier, and the cast of Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith, and Ernie Johnson. Everything about inside the NBA feels authentic and real, which makes it, which will be a loss and devastating to NBA fans. Awful Announcing wrote Monday, which about sums up this reaction from fans and media. During an interview with Dan Patrick, Charles Barkley said TNT, the NBA, are negotiating, and it has been very stressful for everyone involved. But the Hall of Famer is confident and ensured that on an out clause, his most recent contract in the negotiation with TNT, if TNT loses the right, said Barkley, I love TNT. I love everybody over there. They've been great. They've been great for me, but I don't want to be in limbo if we lose the NBA. That wouldn't be fair to me. TNT is set to televise Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals of the Mavericks and the Timberwolves on Wednesday. The Warriors star Draymond Green will join inside the NBA crew to provide pregame, halftime, and postgame analytics. Okay? So I could go on and on and on, and they're talking about other people that have been talking about it. Here's my thoughts, okay? Now, I reported this, I say about 2 or 3 weeks ago, of the possibility of networks and these streaming services upping the ante as far as getting television rights of the NBA. And I thought the NBA is going to be up into the billions in order for you to get access of live NBA games. Now, ESPN has secured their faith. They're going to continue getting the NBA, including the NBA Finals, which bolster and give you guys a reason to still pay if you're still watching the NBA on a cable or satellite package. And if you have ESPN, that will continue you to pay for that service in order to watch live NBA games, postseason, in the NBA Finals. And with their TV deal, they're going to sprinkle it all around for their satellite and cable package, for ABC, for their shows. They got a lot of shows that, exclusively talk about the NBA. And they also got their streaming services. I think they still got ESPN Plus or some form of ESPN Plus. Also heard ESPN is partnering, going to be showing more of their packages as far as live games go on a different application. So this is very much needed for ESPN to keep the rights, their TV rights with the NBA. Now, ESPN also said, and I remember seeing this on CNBC, and there was doubt as whether ESPN is going to get the NBA. I forgot the guy's name. He said their relationship with the NBA is great, and they was very confident then that they was going to sign a deal with the NBA, and it looks like that confidence paid off. Now, what does this mean for Amazon Prime? They're desperately seeking Susan, giving different reasons why people want to buy their service. Amazon Prime has the NFL Thursday night game. They paid top dollar to keep that, and they got packages. They got television shows that is packaged around the Thursday night game, and they also get to play some of the NFL games, and that is very promising for Amazon Prime. But Amazon Prime is giving people reasons to still pay for their service. You got the NFL, you got your TV and your movies and things of that nature. The NBA is just icing on the cake, and that will continue. People will continue to watch and keep Amazon Prime. Okay. I feel like there's a dark horse, which is NBC Universal. NBC Sports has been trying to figure out some way to be relevant in sports television. Okay. They have, signed for a lot of high profile name personalities to join NBC Sports, and they would like to utilize these personalities as far as the NBA goes. They want to be in that B package or that C package. Now, Turner Sports is fighting for one of those spots. Now, ABC got the best package. I believe Fox Sports 1's got some similar package, or Fox Sports 1 is, they show NBA games on their local television outlets, and you'll occasionally see it on Fox Sports 1 if you watch that late for Fox Sports 1. NBC is trying to get into and giving people a reason to watch NBC Sports. They're trying to capitalize and make a monopoly of one of those two packages, which would probably be the B package. Turner Sports, on the other hand, will probably get the C package. That's the in-season tournament, regular NBA games, and they get some playoff games. And I think in the C package, you don't necessarily get the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference Finals. Okay, so they can still theoretically have, if they get the C package, they will still be able to showcase inside the NBA. And they can still do the show all the way up into the NBA Finals. It's just, they won't be able to have any of those live games on Turner Sports. Now, I said in a previous video, they have been collaborating with NBA TV. And they have a great relationship with NBA TV and NBA radio, and they can still, they can still talk about the games that are not shown on Turner Sports. And the NBA and sports media and sports television, they don't want to lose inside the NBA. Inside the NBA is a big IP. It's a big show. It's bigger than Sports Center. It's bigger than First Take. It's bigger than any show on Fox Sports 1. It's bigger than any show on on NBC Sports. It's definitely bigger than any type of show on Amazon Prime when you're talking about sports wise. It's a very, very big show. And I feel like just because it's award winning, you got the best group of personalities on inside the NBA. The NBA don't want to see that show phase out. They don't want, and they want to continue to have inside the NBA. I think inside the NBA glorifies the essence of the National Basketball Association. Despite there's a lot of players that have mixed emotions about inside the NBA. That's all, you're going to have your good and the bad when you talk about the players. Do they like inside the NBA? Do they not like inside the NBA? But when you look at the NBA, they cannot afford to lose momentum and popularity of the NBA, and they have to give some thought and credence that inside the NBA, make casual viewers and casual fans want to watch NBA games. I've heard a lot of people say they rather watch inside the NBA than an actual NBA game. Okay. And we're going to get into what Jalen Rose said yesterday about American players and how, they need to be on their pivot as far as continuing to dominate the NBA. And he believes there's going to be a foreign boom of foreign players, taking a lot of positions and a lot of spots away from American-made players. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. And I feel like the NBA, out of all the major sports, is more global and more international than the NFL or Major League Baseball. Okay, we'll talk about that a little bit later. All right, so reading what I just read, it'd be in the best interest of the NBA to make sure TNT has some form of package. Now, I do feel like Turner Sports is going to have to pay a little bit more. They might give them a deal, an inside deal that's, they might pay in part of the negotiation and keep it inside the NBA. The NBA is probably willing to broker some type of discount for them to continue to have the TV rights for two reasons. One, inside the NBA and their relationship with the NBA when other entities and networks and streaming service wasn't even thinking about the NBA. Turner Sports was always there through the thick and thin, just like ESPN. So, with their long-standing relationship, they're going to probably give them the C package or some form of package so they can continue to have inside the NBA, because inside the NBA makes the NBA, the National Basketball Association, to casual fans and casual viewers, the hotness. All right. And it benefits the NBA. Okay. That's one thing. Two, I don't think they want to take this to court. Now, Turner Sports is threatening to take the NBA to court because there's language in their current deal that says that they're entitled to some form of package when TV negotiations, which are the TV negotiations that are going now, there's language in their older contract that demonstrates that they are going to get some form of package in the next deal. I don't think the NBA wants to take Turner Sports to court. They don't want this to drag out. They don't want this to linger on, and they want to keep inside the NBA that core group. Now it'll be great news for the other streaming services and networks that Charles Barkley become a free agent. ESPN, and I talked about this last week, the possibility of ESPN picking up Charles Barkley, and he will be the biggest free agent since Shannon Sharpe. And I also talk about how Fox Sports 1, they will have to overspend to get Charles Barkley to save Undisputed. Now, I know the relationship with Charles Barkley and Skip Bayless is not great. Charles Barkley really hates Skip Bayless. I'm pretty sure that, they Fox Sports 1 wouldn't mind paying double or triple the price to get Charles Barkley on Fox Sports 1, and they wouldn't mind, him partnering it up with Undisputed. I'm pretty sure that Fox Sports 1 will have to convince that to Charles Barkley. Then they have to convince it to Stephen A. Smith. Skip Bayless. Obviously, the power is going to have to either be split between Charles Barkley and Skip Bayless. But if I'm Charles Barkley, I know I'm the A gap, and y'all are paying 2 times, 3 times the money to save this show, because this show is on life support. And that's one of the perks of signing the biggest free agent in sports media history. They would have to give up and Skip Bayless would have to relinquish a lot of control of that show to Charles Barkley, which that was something he didn't want to do with Shannon Sharpe. I feel like Fox Sports 1 is on the ropes. They're desperately trying to, get, they invested a lot of time, resources, and money on Undisputed. They don't want to see Undisputed gone forever. And they still have to pay Skip Bayless that massive contract. They signed him to another big-time contract. That's 2 contracts with Fox Sports 1. They would be at the mercy of Charles Barkley. But it all depends on if Charles Barkley wants to work with Skip Bayless. And they will have to really convince Charles Barkley to do that. But all that being said, I don't think it's going to even get to that point, because the NBA has a long relationship and a lot of history with the NBA, and they either going to give Turner Sports the C package or some special package for Turner Sports to continue to have the NBA over there. Now, Turner Sports will probably have to give up most of the postseason. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, they never had the NBA Finals, all right? When the Western Conference and the Eastern when it's over with, that's the end of the season of Turner Sports. And then everyone goes on their long summer and, things of that nature. And I feel like the NBA is going to work out some type of deal and keep Turner, but they also want that money of NBC Universal, and NBC Universal will probably get the C package. Amazon is going to get that B package, and ESPN is going to get the A package, and that's going to make the NBA richer. It's going to make the popularity of the NBA go through the roof by keeping all of these guys happy. All right. So I think that's the route the NBA is going with this. Now, I don't have any inside sources or anything like that, but I don't think anybody is going to be out or missing out on live games of the NBA and post games in the NBA Finals. Now, what did Jalen... Now, Jalen Rose said something very interesting. And he said something about, hey, look, for all these American players that, they're automatically going to get into the league. They're already slotted in, these high school superstars, and the player mentality, and I'm a blue chipper. I came from X school, X college. I'm the new hotness for the next up and coming draft, and teams have no choice but to draft me. You're going to see, with the recent success of the Joker winning regular MVP of the regular season, of the Denver Nuggets winning a title, Luka and his success and his rise in the NBA, and you got other foreign players and their recent success. And everyone knows that this is a copycat league. In any league, it's a copycat league. The NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NBA. A lot of these executives, a lot of these owners are going to start looking in the NBA draft of the next Luka or the next Joker or the next foreign player that that they are willing to draft high in the NBA draft. Now, I feel like a lot of these owners, a lot of these executives, and they're not going to publicly say this, but they have grown very weary and tired of the player type of mentality and the selfish, the me, what about me type of player. And you have to deal with that type of player because they have always been known to deal with those type of players, and it's just par for the course. And with James Harden, with Kevin Durant, and LeBron James, Anthony Davis, I think a lot of executives have grown weary of being under the mercy of of those type of players, of the perks of those type of players, of the demand and the stress of those type of players. Now, don't get it twisted, don't get it confused. I feel like a lot of owners and a lot of executives wouldn't mind having a LeBron James on their team. They wouldn't mind having a Kevin Durant or a Kawhi Leonard or James Harden or a Joel Embiid. They don't mind having those players. It's just, to keep them players happy, you have to give up so much of your team. You have to give up so much of your future. And if you look at Joker and Luka, they pretty much just come in. They don't cause a lot of turmoil in the office or with the owners. And Luka and Joker, they pretty much let the coaches coach, they let the owners own, and they let the office personnel do their job, and then they do their job. Okay. And I know this is going to sound very controversial, but I feel like a lot of executives and a lot of owners would love to have that headache dealing with a foreign player, which is not a headache, than dealing with a top college recruit who had an amazing year in college and got this arrogance about them and this player mentality. And what about, I'm only caring about me. I don't give a damn about the organization and the team. Is just too much to deal with too fast, too soon. And to keep him happy, you have to give up a large portion of your team. And I think that's what Jalen Rose was implying and talking about. It's like, men, are tired of dealing with Western women. They go overseas and they start dating these women overseas because the women overseas are not like Western women. They're not too demanding. They're not going to be stressful or anything like that. They're going to appreciate the situation that they currently find themselves in. With a Western woman, it's always demanding, and it's always, what about me. Okay. And that's the same terminology that is going on with these executives and these owners, that they're getting I don't think they're sick of it, but I think they just grown tired of it. And, and that's why a lot of these, and if you've been noticing, I'm talking about Michael Jordan and Mark Cuban gave up a large portion of the Dallas Mavericks. He sold some of his rights to another group, Michael Jordan has relinquished a lot of rights of the Charlotte Hornets. It's just a lot of owners are going like, you know, this new era, this player mentality, and we're being captives and we're being hostages of these of these NBA stars. It's just not worth it. Okay. And you have to jump over hoops every year to make that player happy. Okay. And it seems like a lot of players won't control of the future and the direction of these clubs. Now, is it right or wrong? I'm not sure about that. I really think it's depending on which side of the coin that you're on. Okay, but that's what Jalen Rose was implying and said, and I feel like this is going to dramatically change basketball for the next 5 or 6 years. You're going to see a pool of foreign players that we have never heard of pick up a lot of spots in the NBA draft, and in all actuality, it makes the NBA draft that impactful. It makes these picks that important that you can find a diamond in the rough, or if you don't get that top foreign player, or that top foreign international star, you still are in the running in the bottom half of the draft to pick up that top collegiate player. And it makes these picks more valuable when the pool is wider and bigger for the ball clubs to go into. And it makes it more richer. And a lot of these teams are going to keep these draft picks. These draft picks are going to be worth more than gold than putting them all together to try to build a super team. People are not going to risk mortgaging their future to make a super team. And language in the contract and the rules make it difficult to have a super team. All right. So yeah, that's all I got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Rate, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next week. I promise you guys some other content, and I probably will have that content next week. If not, we'll just it'll get there when it gets there. So I'm up out of here. Deuces.